What we do here is go back.
Yeah, good mate. Thanks for having me.
Who went the hardest in the celebrations?
Can't say myself, can I?
You sort of almost got to tell yourself that you're a big game player or a big finals player. And so somehow I thought, well, just because I play well as a 13-year-old, I have to play well in the grand final.
Me and Cogs are a couple of good WA boys, and we do get a bit affectionate with each other, always giving each other kisses and stuff. Nah, not really, just, a manly kiss on the cheek every now and then.
Yes, g'day guys, welcome back to the Bray and Ethan podcast, episode 103. Ethan plays with his
I'm just going
mic.
to keep that there straight, not touch it.
It's not too stable at the moment. But of course, episode 103, and it's all powered by Skimbro and Hat Locker for 2023. Use code Bray and Ethan 20 for 20% off across both websites, Ethan.
Yeah, and I could argue that you should be doing the intro on this man, because the first I ever heard of this man was from you after that Wacker game. As someone, would you say, took you back, impressed you, to say the least?
Well, I was just watching up in the stands, and I was like, who on earth is this bloke getting heaps of the pill?
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, who is he?
And he's been good enough to come in less than a week out from the AFL draft. This time next week, very hopeful he's an AFL player. Smooth operator, Claremont Joe Fonti. Joe, how are you?
I'm right, thanks guys. Thanks so much for that awesome intro.
All good. How you feeling with everything? A week to go?
Yeah, I'm pretty calm with it all. Obviously, there's nothing left I can do, so I'm sort of twiddling my thumbs, as I said. But I'm not too anxious about it at all. If it doesn't happen, I've sort of got it planned out what I'm going to do from there. So yeah, no anxiety around it.
Yeah, and it is Joseph, the full name, just to clarify.
Yeah, Joseph is the full name. Usually go by Joe, but unbothered.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned how you've been twiddling your thumbs for the last couple of weeks. An article came out last week saying, hey, you think about the draft 50 times a day. Is that number increasing by the minute?
No, it's actually not. I thought it was funny how they made the title such an insignificant detail, but I don't know. It was sort of just came out of my mouth, and then
And uni exams would probably also take up a bit of your focus. How'd you go on those, and what is it that you're studying?
I study commerce at UWA. Some of them were pretty challenging, I'm not going to lie to your face. But hopefully I scraped over with a few of them.
It's all done now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all wrapped up.
Yeah.
And balancing this year with first year out of school with footy, everything, study, social life, probably helped you in a bit to have everything so busy, but how'd you juggle it all?
I don't know. It's just, I suppose you just got to look at footy as like a, hobby, like to take your mind off things sort of, rather than another chore on top of everything else. Otherwise, you're not going to enjoy it. So, yeah. Yeah,
100%. Well, like a lot of people that we've had on this year, you've had a basketball background right up until your time at Scotch. In terms of footy, though, East Fremantle Junior Footy Club. So does that mean that you would have tried out for East Freo Futures and whatnot for the East Freo Waffle side?
Yeah, when I did the development squad, which is 14s or 15s, I'm not really quite sure, I can't remember now, but I did the development squad and I enjoyed that, and then I did the futures, and there was a big gap because of COVID I don't know, it was the second wave it hit, and their schools got shut down and whatever else, footy got shut down, and sort of, I don't know, I just, back then footy was sort of just like something I did with my mates, and a few of my mates were discouraged to come back and went, I can't really be bothered with this, so I didn't end up coming back either, which I later regretted. But when Claremont gave me the opportunity, I didn't take it for granted and you'd have gripped my teeth twice as hard.
So did Claremont give you that opportunity just purely off playing at Scotch?
I think, they just watched I think it was the back half of the season where I started playing on the halfback and got some interest through there, and then got a text message and was very, very happy.
Yeah. Any traits taken from basketball into footy with the switch?
I think some of the evasiveness and like the instinctive things, like when someone's coming at you and that's that sort of stuff. Maybe a bit of hand-eye coordination as well, even, but mostly. Yeah, not too much of a difference. I was playing footy at the same time, but basketball, I don't know, may or may not have been the priority. I just played both of them just for fun, pretty much.
Yeah, you always hear the basketball background, almost like every second
Pendlebury.
AFL player. Yeah, Scott Pendlebury. Now, on to Scotch. How's your schooling there? Obviously, you would have made a lot of memories with Alcos, etc. But even like other schools, I know you're good mates with Hugh Davies. So how's it been to come out of those, the PSA connections, not just from Scotch, but I guess the whole PSA?
Yeah, it really helped when I joined Claremont because obviously I had my first season as an overager. So a bunch of the boys had been playing with each other for 2 or 3 years. So to have the PSA connections with some of the Christchurch and Hale boys and Scotch boys just made it an easy transition when I started playing for Claremont. So yeah, it was very helpful.
Well, first year, as we know, first year at Claremont, it doesn't take long to play there. Obviously, for you, you were pretty much straight into the side and then called straight into the state squad. Did you see it coming? And I guess what was the mindset coming in as an overage player?
I suppose I had a bit more confidence just because I suppose you're older and you don't expect someone who's younger than you to
Dominate you.
Yeah, exactly. So I had a bit of confidence, but I hadn't played Colts footy before, and PSA is a completely different competition. So it wasn't fair for me to have an expectation.
Yeah.
But after a few good games, I realised that I was capable of doing pretty well. And then, I wasn't expecting the call up from the state team. That was incredible.
It's just phone call.
No, so I'd go to the gym with a couple of my mates who would say that we should be in the state team, as you do, but I never actually expected the call up or anything. And then one time I was in the gym after training, and Joe Matthews and Dan came back into Ice Bath after their state session, and they said something along the lines of, Adam Jones has been asking about you to us. And that raised my eyebrows, and then I thought in the next few games I better chop up because I could be on here.
Yeah. And as a rebounding defender, it's always spoken about, I guess, the balance between defending and then taking the game on. What did you learn from the champs in that sense with your position?
I suppose something I get criticised on a little bit is my accountability after running off defending afterwards. The champs just, and I suppose a lot of that's to do with fitness as well, because obviously if you grab the ball and sprint 20 metres, it's going to be twice as hard getting back to defend. Yeah. And the champs boys are obviously twice as fit as anyone else I've ever versed, so I think it just really helped with my fitness and also, you're on a big stage, you're giving it everything you've got. So yeah.
I think the natural thing would be a shock for like the step up, but you seem to like play pretty well. So was it much of a shock, the step up?
I think to be honest, I think that the first training with the state boys was more intimidating than the first game because, I don't know. It's like the state team, right? Like everyone there's the best. So I didn't know how I would compete with a group of people who were maybe in my eyes better than me. But after doing a few good things at training, I realised it was where I belong, and it gave me some more confidence going into the game.
Your first game was at Optus, and then the wacky game after that. It's pretty, I guess, chucking in the deep end a little bit from the situation side of things.
Yeah. No, the Wacker game was incredible. I remember speaking to Dan right after it, and usually, you'd expect it to be pretty gutted. Like, you're representing your state, you just got beaten by 2 points, and we had like 5 opportunities or something within the last 2 minutes to win. But I remember the first thing Dan and I said walking back to the car, we were like, geez, that would have been such a good game to watch. It had everything. Like, half-time was a bit nippy, and then it was back and forth, and then there was a bit of everything. So, that was probably the most enjoyable game, most enjoyable loss I've ever played in.
Yeah, the crowd was right behind you guys as well. Like, it was, I know half the ground is not accessible. The Wacker, but like everyone was just packed in that half of the ground that you could go onto, and made a massive atmosphere. So it must have been pretty cool to play out there. Yeah,
it was. One of the clips came up the other day. I forgot what I was watching, but it was within like the dying seconds after Dan kicked that insane banana from 45 out, and there was the stoppage. And I remember when we won the clearance, just like the crowd is like almost muting the commentators, which is insane.
And what you said about the loss, from what I remember, no one was like criticising guys for like losing the game or anything. Like, it was just all spoken about how competitive the game was all around.
Yeah. No, it was a very fun game to play in.
Yeah, for sure. Well, how would you compare the draft attention that you've received, I guess, before and after the champs? Because you've been copying a bit of media hype from, I guess, Channel 7 and a bit on radio.
Yeah. Not so much after the champs, but leading up to the combine sort of gave me a little bit more confidence. With just all the media attention. Obviously, it's best not to let it get to your head and let it think in your eyes that you've got a better chance of getting drafted or whatever. But it's definitely sometimes hard to block out and not let yourself.
What's it like seeing yourself on the news and that sort of thing? I imagine the mates would just be sending it away.
No, I think sort of the general the universally known thing is that listening to yourself over record just is a cringy thing to do. I'm not sure if you guys are the same, but sometimes listening over yourself, I don't know, I find it a little bit hard.
I wouldn't do it by choice.
Did you have any media down there at the combine for the Western Fisters on the weekend?
There are a little bit. Not too many outsiders, but well, Colts Team of the Year member and premiership to finish off. Two pretty significant achievements. So deeper in the season, do you think that being in the team, having that team success helped boost your own individual stocks as more people watch the bigger games?
Say that again. Sorry, I completely zoned out for a second there.
It's all right. No, I was just saying it's obviously when you play.
Oh no, he's lost.
He zoned out because he knew this was going to fall. With Claremont obviously playing in the bigger games, more people are watching. So did you feel like as the Claremont got deeper into the season and there were less teams around you, it helped you draft stocks because there was more people sort of watching you?
Oh, 100%. I was thinking about that not too long ago. People say, for instance, if someone says that I've had a really impressive year and I say I've gotten really fortunate, and then they try and contradict that and say, well, actually, you put the hard work in. If you think about it this way and go, well, I was playing in a really successful team that got me 4 more games to impress and improve my stocks. You can think about it that way as well, and that is something that just came because of fortune.
Yeah, it was a real good and strong side at Claremont's.
And playing on up just for a second time as well.
Yeah.
Not just your first
and
time.
Actually having a decent crowd there as well, because there's no one ever there for a curtain raiser for an AFL game. The Waffle Grand Final.
Yeah.
Decent crowd. What was better, to play in front of the Wacker crowd or the Grand Final crowd?
I preferred the Wacker crowd just because...
It was boxing.
Yeah, it was the fact that they were supporting us over Vic Country, the bias was so significant. And also just the I don't know, I wasn't exactly rattled by the environment, but it's a grand final, and it's when the other team kicks an incredible goal and the crowd erupts, it's hard to not let them get momentum off that, opposed to at the Wacker when Vic Country would kick a goal, it'd just be cricket. So
and it was a pretty good win in that grand final, and as one of the older ones in that side, did you lead the way in the celebrations, and is there any best off-ground nominations from that night?
Jeez. I don't know. Dan Curtin shed some tears in happiness, which I found pretty funny. So maybe best on goes to him. Worst on probably Max Raw. I'm pretty sure he was tucked away in an Uber pretty early. So
I've heard somewhat similar to that. Now, speed is what every AFL club is looking for. So they would have been absolutely licking their lips when you blitzed the 20-metre sprint at the combine. You must have been not only happy with that, but some other top 3 finishes to separate yourself even more so.
Yeah, I remember I was the last to get my wristband in the combine in the order, and every event you'd do, it would go down that order. And I was the last guy doing the 20-metre, and it was my last attempt. And at training, I'd gotten a number of 2.9 runs. And I just thought, geez, I'm going to swing my arms as hard as I can here, try and crack it. And I ended up cracking it and got a couple good reactions. So that made me really happy. But I would have liked to do a little bit better in the 2K, because that's sort of the one, you go away and do the grueling training for that you don't necessarily like, rather than for the agility, for instance, where it's just all familiarity. But yeah, I would have liked to do better in that, and it was a little bit upsetting. But it's improvable. It's easily fixed. So I'll just go out and train harder.
Was there any talk of the national combine? I know you would have been happy to go to one or the other as you did, but
Well, I don't necessarily. It's a little bit cloudy to me as well. I don't know. People say it's you've got to speak to 2 clubs to get invited to the state and 5 to the national or whatever the numbers are. But I was never sure whether I'd spoken to enough yet or what the case was. But I didn't have the expectation that I was going to get invited to the national draw combine. But if I did, it would have been twice as good.
Yeah, well, for guys like Colton and I guess those guys who have been talked up for, I don't know, like the last 12 months, you could say.
Yeah.
It's been a real long wait for them, but you must look back and think, wow, how fast this has all sort of happened.
Yeah, 100%. I suppose there's just...
Because it was really the champs that you just started to click.
Yeah, I think... after the champs, the fact that I'd sort of played at a higher level than Colts gave me a lot of confidence, and then I started having a couple good consecutive games in a row.
Yeah.
Which I assume would have improved my stocks. So, I don't know. The whole year was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. When was it that you had your manager?
I actually spoke to him about this not long ago. I remember I got contacted after like my 3rd game or something. And
Like champs or Colts?
Oh no, like Colts.
Yeah.
And so he noticed me pretty early, and I remember asking him what made you contact me, because I wasn't exactly playing all that well like, up until a bit later. But I'm really stoked to have one.
Yeah.
And it seems like a decent chance. We hope to happen, of course. Have you been told like how likely it is or what clubs are in the mix, or is it genuinely just a complete unknown until this time next week?
There's a few clubs which I think are more probable to draft me than others, but then again, like, it's so unpredictable. You see people who are projected to go like 20 to 40 and don't end up. So it'd be unfair for me to assume that it was going to happen.
Yeah. That spot on, because it can be so unpredictable. What about moving into state? You think you'd be ready for that?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's all no worries. Like, I'm 19, decently ambitious. Maybe Perth's already showed what it's got to offer. Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable with it all.
Yeah. Well, obviously it is next week. So, any plans for one of the draft nights yet?
Nah. I think sort of, when it's a player like me who's on the fringe and is
keep it quiet.
Yeah, and is pretty 50-50, I think you got to just keep it family, and then maybe if it does happen, then friends will be over within 2 minutes. But I don't think I'm going to be doing anything too massive for the night unless it happens. Because
there's the rookie draft on the Wednesday, I think, which is just a stream as well. So yeah, it's it'll be a long wait, I'm sure. Even though it's a week away. What about chatting to other Claremont boys, I guess in similar position, or even state boys, about how they're feeling about it, or have you kind of checked out of it somewhat and just left everyone to their own space?
I've sort of checked out a little bit. I know some of the state boys are going to the beach and getting a coffee to sort of get it off their chest, but I'm pretty comfortable with it all. Like, I talk to the ones I'm really close with about it quite a bit. But it's nice to do other things rather than just think about the draft the entire day.
Are you like treating it like, wow, I'm just lucky to be in this situation?
Yeah,
because like 12 months ago, you probably had no ambitions of being in this situation that you're in right now.
Yeah.
And then like if it happens, and you get to live your dream for the next however long. Yeah. But if you don't, then it's not going to be like a massive setback for you. Yeah,
well, I think because it happened so quickly as well, like, I wouldn't consider myself one of those guys who's invested all their eggs in that one basket and like maybe not tried to propel themselves at school or whatever, because they had the expectation they were getting drafted. Like, this has all happened just so miraculously for me. So I got to try and look at it at a way where if I do get drafted, that's just like absolutely insane. But if I don't, it's like, well, if you asked me 6 months ago if you thought I was going to get drafted, I'd probably say maybe I've got a 10% chance. So yeah.
And obviously still at uni as well. And like, Claremont is a successful club, great club. So like, worst comes to worst. Hopefully it's not the case, but like, you're still in a pretty good position.
Yeah, exactly.
And research is something we like to pride ourselves on. Couldn't help but notice the Christmas Eve birthday.
Yeah.
What's it like having what some would probably think as back-to-back birthdays every year?
Yeah. Well, a lot of people ask that question. It's all I've really ever known, so I can't really give an opinion on what it would be like if my birthday wasn't there. But there's a couple Christmas Eve events that particular places do, which makes it easy for me to have a party or whatnot with my friends. So yeah, it's convenient in that sense.
Nice little festival of Joe around that period of the year. You got New Year's as well, like a week later, and just the whole summertime. So what a time to be alive. And
and I know you are an over, like you're born in what, 7 days off being an 05, so you are an overager. But
that's been frustrating up until this point. I mean, I don't know. It used to be a little bit of a negative, I didn't know whether or not this year I was going to play as an overager or in reserves, and I think the sort of playing in Colts has more exposure than reserves do.
Oh,
so
100%.
But yeah, I think a lot of people have caught on to the fact that, I mean, you can imagine how much research AFL clubs do when they say that I'm born a week away. I don't think it's the be-all and end-all.
Yeah, 100%. All right, Instagram Q&As, of course, thanks to Skinbro and Hatlocker at Bray and Ethan for future questions. Started off with James Waddock. Is it Waddock or?
Wadcock, I believe.
Wadcock. Favourite Scotch footy coach?
Geez, I've forgotten his last name. Tom something or other. He was our year 10 coach. He was a little bit younger and more sociable and fun to be around. But that'd probably check that one off.
James Harper _. Would you say Joe Matthews made you into where you are now?
He'd probably play a pretty significant role, but I've put a lot of the work in myself.
Mongoose _Vines. Who is better at football, Hugh Vines or Jack Fraser?
Jack Fraser clears him by a long shot, absolute monster ruckman. If you haven't seen him, I'm not sure where to find any collegiate amateur footage, but yeah, absolute beast.
Jono Williams official. Hey mate, huge fan of your journey from rags to riches. Who inspired you?
Jeez. I'm not entirely sure. I think my friends get around me quite a bit, so maybe those guys get the kudos.
AM Aaron Davis _ Does Linny smell like Cheetos?
From time to time. It's hard to tell whether or not there's Cheeto dust on his fingers sometimes.
Luke Skopinich.
Yep.
Hey Joey, name your ideal Overwatch squad.
Cody Renouf, Luke Skopinich, Ned Phillips, Sol Paletti, and Ashton.
Harold.Nye, favourite Pokemon?
It's a great question. I'm a big fan of any of the Eevee evolutions. They're all pretty good, yeah.
So you're a big Pokemon Go sort of operator?
Not really. There was a bit of a trend within my circle of friends that was going on not too long ago where we're all on the Pokemon Go, believe it or not.
That's 2016.
Yeah, I know.
2016, 2017, around then.
Yeah, we revived it, but that's officially been finished. That little era.
I think that would have been maybe last year or the year before that it was. I think I knew a couple of people that were getting back on it. But yeah, can't say I know anyone who plays it now.
Yeah.
Oscar Mitchell, why were you so mean to me when we played 2K?
Was that Oscar Michelli?
Probably, yeah.
I don't know, mate. I apologise if I was.
Bit too competitive.
Yeah, probably.
Big Levi Casbolt, thoughts on Harry Ellis?
Harry Ellis. I'm not really sure who he's talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. Big Levi Casbolt.
Big _Levi
Casbolt. I'm not sure who he's talking about. Sorry, Harry Ellis, if I've completely forgotten about
We've finished off with Cody Renoff 7. Do you still sleep with your blankie?
I don't sleep with my blankie. That's a really good question, though. That went on a couple of years too long. Great question.
We'll leave it there. Skimbo quiz. Leaderboard has absolutely grown, and I don't know if we're going to have enough time to do a battle for the 12s. But
tough.
a couple of the four that currently sit on 12, which is the highest score: Riley Hardman, Luke Kelly, Riley DeSisto, and Ashton Ferreira. Dan Curtin sits on 11.5. Another, I guess, Claremont teammate of yours, Zach Mainwaring. He's on 11. Sam Van Ryan, 11. Going down the list.
What is it, like
I
a
think that's it.
quiz that I've got to answer as quick as possible?
Not as quick as possible. It's on your stats.
Oh.
Say well, you know your stats.
Zane's down the bottom on 8 for the Claremont boys. So
It's out of 14.
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
same question as it always is. Height and weight on the Waffle website.
On the Waffle website, I think I'm 189 centimetres and 73 kilograms.
Perfect start. 1 from 1.
Number 2, how many Colts games did you play this year as a whole?
Finals included?
Yeah. Not including pre-season games, if that you did play any, though.
19.
Only 15. Because you got
Jeez. Was that including finals?
I think so, yeah.
Because I think there's 19 games.
I think I missed 5 games and there's 20 games and...
I think there's 20 rounds and you have 2 buys.
Oh, that's good. That'd be where I've gone wrong.
Yeah.
1 from 2.
Yep.
Question number 3. Before the Colts grand final, you had the same amount of touches in the 2 finals games before. How many was this?
22.
Correct.
2 from 3. Number 4, true or false? Your state jersey number 34 was the highest number of the Claremont reps in the state side. True or false?
False.
Correct. Who was above?
I don't know. I'm just sure there's got to be someone that's higher than 34. I'm not sure.
Zane had 39.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
3 from 4.
3 for 4. Question number 5. How many 20 plus disposal performances did you have for Claremont this year? It's a bit of a broad question.
I don't want to say too many because then it seems like I'm up myself. 5?
6. Very close.
4 from
3 from 5.
3 from 5. The best of these was 24 against which team?
East Fremantle.
It's quite ironic considering East Fremantle Junior Footy Club probably just
Lit
said,
a fire underneath me.
Look what you're missing out on.
Yeah, exactly right. A bit of white line fever attached to that game.
We're 4 from 6. Question number 7. How many Claremont players were named in the Colts team of the year? And this is including yourself.
6?
It's 5, I think, including you.
Okay.
Yourself, Dan,
Oh, I have to look at it.
Zane.
I think it might be 6.
Maybe.
Jackson Bazaka.
Because I saw Claremont posted it somewhere. And it was like 5. For loads.
Oh, sorry, that's Colts team of the year. I was thinking state team for a second.
Where are we?
Would have been that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah.
Bugger.
So is Dan not even in there?
No, he didn't play
No,
enough
because
games.
he was
Played
playing league and states.
Yeah. So we are still 4 from 7.
Question number 8. How many centimetres did Oscar beat you by in the standing jump test?
Ooh. 1?
Correct.
3.
I was going to say it's a pretty small number.
Yeah.
But 1 is a lot smaller. Question number 9. We're still on 4. We need this. Did you average more inside 50s or rebound 50s individually across the champs?
I want to say inside 50s.
Correct. 2.7 you averaged, and rebounds was only 2.3. So
Yeah.
small margin. But
It's
that
important.
takes us to a decent score heading into
Yeah.
the last.
Yeah.
You're on 5.
So 5 points up for grabs. So 5 points if you get this one first guess.
jeez.
4 points if it's second guess. 3 points if it's third guess. 2 points if it's fifth guess or fourth. And one we'll give you a point for anything else. So
Okay.
we'll give you a point no matter what.
All right.
Name the 2023 AFL Premiership player who is from your junior club, East Fremantle.
Wow. Jeez.
It's not like if this helps, it's not like a star player.
Yeah, I didn't think it would be because it doesn't jump at me. I don't know too many of the Collingwood players.
And when I say not a star player, like, no disrespect to this guy, but he's not like, he's not
Let's just
like,
say he had a quiet grand final.
But he played.
Yes. I don't think he was the sub, was he?
Far out.
still haven't had your first guess, so 5 points up for grabs with a couple of clues.
Oh my God, I've got no idea. I don't even think I know a Collingwood player from WA.
It was this
Bobby Hill. He's from
not
WA.
Oh, yeah.
It's
WA.
this person is their third club, but you wouldn't really know it.
Yeah, I wouldn't know it's his third club.
East Freo
You
player.
know it's his second club probably, but
Jeez. Would have helped if I saw like a post on this or something. I'm so lost.
And when I said a quiet game, it was
like I don't know because I don't want to give too many clues, but like at the same time,
I wouldn't know, like I'd be able to name like the 8 best players in Collingwood, so
like people have sort of been taking the Mickey out of this guy since.
Is it? What was he getting taken the Mickey out of for?
Well, I don't even. Well, I think because
Just
he
a
came into
game.
the side, late, but like not like a emergency like on the day in, but more just like I don't know what else to say.
I don't know. Is it the bloke who took Johnny Noble's spot? Because I wouldn't know what his name is.
I'm trying to think who took John
might
Noble's
be
spot.
right.
Let's
Did
see.
he play in the prelim?
Oh no! I'll tell you who he replaced. I'm pretty sure he replaced Taylor Adams.
Ah, yes.
I'm so out of luck. I might just have to cop the 0.
Well, there's 1 point up for grabs. We're gonna give.
I've got to have some guesses.
Harris Andrews played on him.
Oh, I'm so lost. I'll say Bobby Hill and grab the 1 point,
Okay.
even though I know for sure it's not him.
It was Billy Frampton.
Yeah, I've no idea. No idea.
How many touches did he have? One.
Would have
He had
never gotten that.
Couple, I think.
He had
He
one
was. He
handball,
dropped
I
that
think.
mark. I remember, like
Yeah.
he was getting his hands on the ball, and had an opportunity to not tear the game apart, but like hit the scoreboard.
Yeah. Forward line,
Yeah, for
sort of gingerish.
He's got like bleached
blonde
hair.
hair.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, Collingwood football knowledge is.
Well, if
out
you
of
go to the
shape.
Pies, then I'm sure you'll
You know,
you'll
who
know
he
him.
is.
I'll learn a few names. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, takes us
6.
to 6.
Not dead on the bot. Not.
No, you got company.
You got company. Yeah.
Put it that way. You joined Toby McQuilkin and then Conrad
Conrad
Williams on 6. So
Another PSA
Ouch.
boy.
at least you're saving your luck for maybe next week.
Yeah, hopefully that is
Yeah.
the case.
Yeah, we hope it is as well. Well, Bray and Ethan 20 for 20% off at both skimbro.com and hatlocker.com.au. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts from, you can, of course, watch on YouTube. And if you're on YouTube, you can jump into the car and chuck it on Spotify or whatever. Make sure to subscribe, give us a 5-star rating, as we like it.
We do. I want to say an early congrats to all the boys that get picked up. Good luck as well, obviously, because it will come out before. Can't wait to see how
Yep.
it all unfolds.
Yep, cannot wait. Well, Joe, appreciate you finally jumping on this year, and all the best next week.
That's right. Thanks so much for having me.